Hi everybody, I am Yolanda Marie. So today the message from the Arcturians is about focus. Keeping the path clear, the Arcturians are telling me, is about more than mental clarity. This is about clarity of energy. It's about clarity of focused thought energy specifically. Here is one way that you can visualize the energy. Keep in mind, there are many different ways to visualize this, but this is what the Arcturians channeled through me as a way to visualize how this thought form energy is going to move or moves. Imagine the thought form energy as many points of thought form molecules, which look like tiny specks of light particles. What I am being shown is a path of these many bright specks of thought form molecules shooting straight out in a cylinder in front of you from your heart and your solar plexus center. So right in that area, just a huge cylinder of light shooting straight forward. This is how you can imagine focused thought. This is what you can, and so many of you are already practicing yourself into right now. Now, the predominant way that thought form energy moves through most individuals is right now generally more scattered. Imagine that the particles emanating from this single source, this being, this human, are rather than moving straight forward, they are suspended randomly throughout the field. Now, smaller streams emanate from the source at different moments, but then they disperse into suspension once again. And imagine many different of these sources of thought, sources of energy, humans, together in this way, simultaneously going about their experiencing with the overarching randomness of thought form energy. Now, visualize this as tiny specks of light encompassing all of them. And so the thought particles of one being, for example, will then intersect with those of another. This happens at many different intervals throughout any given period of what we experience as linear time. And so the projections or creations is what they really are of the beings are constantly manipulated by the many intersections and flowing through, as the Arcturians put it, of thought forms from other sources. To say it a different way, they are each interrupting the projections of another, and so on and so on. The result is a cascade effect of the projections being interrupted and shifted to slightly different versions of the originally intended creation. In other words, the creation that it would have been manifests differently than if the original source and the others who were purposely co-creating with that source were the only contributors to the projection. Of course, none of the results are as random as they seem. There are agreements between beings before incarnation about these co-creations, and also a natural tendency of the physical dimension within this particular universe to produce such an effect. Now, even if you are newer to this sort of information, and many of you are not, many of you know this, but even if you are newer to this information, hearing these words are likely to begin activating you into this sort of clarity. Visualize this stream of thought form energy coming from your solar plexus heart center area, straight out in front of you. Visualize this focused thought form energy. This will begin to aid you in coming into balanced alignment and focus of thought. If you already understand these concepts, listening to this is going to help further solidify, cement, imprint more deeply into your processing mind the understanding of this so that you are maneuvering in this way as you go throughout your experiencing, throughout your days, especially during this time. Be mindful, especially right now, of energy that may be out of focus with your path, or maybe slightly on a lower vibrational level. This is very important right now. This is not a judgment or an insult, as each path is very important and has purpose. This is just a matter of path, focus of path, and focus of your creation. Thank you so much for listening, my friends. I hope that this information makes sense. Now is definitely the time to establish the difference between your clear path of focus and the random quantum information that is happening around you, the random thought form energies that are not necessarily a part of your intentional co-creation. Thank you so much for listening, my friends. I love you so much. Namaste.